All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live Smart Tech webinar. My name is Wayne. I'm from Technology for Independent Living. I'm the team lead of the Biomedical Engineering department here. And today we've got Ian alongside us. Ian is our innovation strategist and smart home guru. He knows everything about smart homes. So I'm excited to talk about smart home stuff with him today. And if anybody has any questions during our talk or afterwards, you can always go to our website and get a hold of us that way. But feel free to interrupt at any time. All right, Ian, ready to go?
Absolutely, yeah, this is exciting.
All right.
Yeah, thank you again for everybody being here. This is super cool. I just wanted to say a quick thing before we begin. How excited I am to be a part of Technology for Living, just because it really allows me to explore all of the new smart home tech and to have my finger on the pulse. And it's so important. I try to explain this to people that don't use smart home tech. And it's for somebody like myself in a wheelchair, I use it every day. This is something that now I just I rely upon so much that it's kind of funny when I go somewhere else, let's say to a hotel room or something, I just expect to be able to control everything by voice. It's that I'll be saying, hey Google, like, turn the TV on or turn off the lights at night, and it's those times where I really I sit back and appreciate this. And like a couple of years ago, I broke my arm and I wasn't able to control anything in my chair. I was barely able to drive my wheelchair. I couldn't use my phone. I couldn't operate the computer like I used to. And at that point, I really found that voice control was a huge component that had to be added into my way of life. And so it's really there's such a huge impact, and that's the cool thing about Technology for Living and our TIL department, is that we're able to supply that equipment and really show off everything that you can do in your home independently.
Cool. That's the whole reason why we got into this in the first place. You know, we've had environmental controls since 1970 when the first program first started. But when first kind of the Google Home and the Amazon Alexa started to come online, you kind of knew that was going to be big, especially for our clients. So yeah, we're excited to show you what we're up to these days and discuss not only the products, but how we use them, how Ian use them, how some of our members use them. And yeah, let's just dive in. All right.
Excellent.
All right. Hey. So the first, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So when we first got into the smart home technology, obviously we needed an ecosystem to build upon. We had tested the Alexa and the Google side by side for a couple of weeks, just kind of figuring out which way to go. Eventually we did decide to go with the Google products, but that doesn't mean we don't supply Alexa devices. It just means that the majority of what we do is Google related devices and things that work with Google. But we're open to supplying other devices as well. So the first thing that we got, a lot of people are familiar with it, which was the Google Home Mini, now the Nest Mini. And yeah, I don't know, Ian, Amazon versus Google, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I find that because I don't enunciate very well, that Google has a much easier time understanding me. And I also find that for the most part, it's a lot more intuitive. There, I can ask a question, and it doesn't really matter how I say it. It will still turn on the light or answer me. So that's, I think, the big thing. And I have these all over my house because they just do so much. I think. For me personally, my favorite commands are probably, well, something as simple as just asking what time it is if I'm in bed and I can't turn my head to see the clock, or asking for what's the weather outside, or the broadcast feature, which I really like, that if I'm in bed and my caregiver is in the other room, I can send a message throughout the entire house to all of these devices, and then have somebody come roll me over or reposition me in bed. So very, very cool.
Yeah, and I mean, these, if you do have them all over the house, then that broadcast feature will go to all devices. I think they're working on individualizing it, right? So if you say broadcast to the kitchen, then it won't broadcast everywhere, just to one particular device.
Correct. Yeah, and I have made that mistake where somebody's sleeping in the other room, and I forget that, and then somebody comes out and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it." But it's that the broadcast over all of the devices is handy if let's say you're outside and you're trying to get back into the house. I can use my my phone to broadcast a message to every device in the house, and so I know that somebody's going to hear me.
Cool. And recently, in addition to the Google Nest Mini, we've also got the Nest Hub. So this is handy for if people have a video doorbell, a Nest Hello doorbell. It'll automatically show on the screen who's at your front door.
Nice. Yeah, they are helpful because you can also say things like, how far is it to the local grocery store, and it will pop up a map on the hub and say, like, show you a photo of it or a map. There, you can also do really cool things like ask it for a recipe or a video or a YouTube video, and so it kind of acts like a mini, a simplified tablet.
Yeah, and even things as simple as a timer. We have a lot of timers here in the shop, so we set a timer when we're repairing something or something needs to go on for a certain amount of time. You get a visual display of how much time's left on the timer. It's kind of nice, as opposed to just waiting to hear that sound at the end of 2 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever your timer is.
Yeah, to have that visual feedback. Yeah. And if you part of the Google ecosystem and you're using, let's say, Google Duo, then you can actually call a person, and that device, I believe, doesn't have a camera on it, but they can see you. So, for example, when I was in Tokyo in early January, I was able to create a Google Duo call to my dad, and he was able to answer it and then see me walking around, which was really neat.
Cool.
For somebody that, like Kim, that doesn't have a cell phone, then we were able to have that interaction.
Right. That's awesome. I didn't realize that. Okay, so moving on. Enough with the Google products until later.
One thing, but before we move on, because I'm so excited about it, you showed me a new mount for
you're Google. Right. Yes, and I have that nearby. So
excellent.
So we do, as you can see in our back, we've got 3D printers here. We've got two 3D printers, and one of the things that we recently designed, or actually redesigned, we had an original version not long ago, but is a holder for the Google Home. So if somebody's not able to project their speech, maybe they're in bed and they're not loud enough for the Google Home to hear them, we can now attach it to any of our mounting devices here. It's just attached to a gooseneck. Can be put in front of them or beside them, just bringing it closer to the mouse so Google can hear them throughout the night or whenever they need.
Yeah, and that's really exciting for me, because when I'm in bed and on the ventilator, I'm not able to project my voice. And so it's really helpful to have it relatively close and to be able to position it, whether it's hanging overhead or to the side. The versatility is amazing.
Yeah, and we can use it with all our RAM mounts. We use a lot of RAM mounts or goosenecks, super clamps, any of that kind of stuff. It's all works with this mount. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for showing me that.
Thanks for reminding me. So moving on, after we figured out we were going to use the Google devices versus the Alexa at the beginning, we needed a smart lighting lineup. And we did a lot of research with this, Philips Hue, TP-Link. There were a few that we went through. Eventually we decided on the TP-Link products. The biggest reason is that they did not need to have a hub. Whereas the Philips Hue in the beginning did need to have a hub, so it just made it easier for us to install in members' homes, not needing access to their router. So we do have the basic light bulb. It is basically on-off, dimmable, and tunable, so you can select whatever shade of white you want. The light bulb, we have the mini plug, so you can plug in a lamp or a fan or anything else that you need to plug in and turn on and off with your voice. And finally, we have the light switches. So that one's just a basic switch. We also have the three-way switch if you have two ends of the hallway that you need to turn on and off.
Yeah, and that's really cool because the smart plugs, holy cow, I have them everywhere. Like they're great to plug into a lamp or a fan. The fan probably is one of my favorites and most commonly used, where I can be in bed or in the chair and say, Google, turn on the fan, and that's it. It's a very, very easy way to have temperature control in that space. Or other things that are more advanced, like plugging my computer in, so I can say, turn on my computer, and then everything boots up just from the smart plug being activated.
Right.
So very, very versatile. And for the bulbs, now I'm renting and I don't have neutral wires in my house. I use the light bulbs instead, and it's a great way to be able to control your lighting by voice without having to do any wiring in the home. And I never thought I would appreciate the dimmable feature as much as I do. Like I think every house or every light in my house that has one of these that isn't set to 100% all the time. If I'm sitting there, let's say at night or when I'm waking up in the morning and I don't want to have this giant floodlight above my head, it's a nice feature. Or even something like sitting back and watching TV. It's good to be able to set the mood.
Yeah, and I think one other thing that you have that we don't supply, Ian, is the colored bulbs, right? So you can also get colored bulbs. You can change the color, and we don't supply those. But if a client or a member does purchase special light bulbs, we can always help them set up.
Definitely.
All right, we move along to TV access.
Definitely. Netflix. My favorite thing right now in
Netflix.
These crazy times.
I think it's everybody's favorite thing, but so this is the Google Chromecast, fairly basic. You can't do any cable systems with it, but it does allow us to stream with Netflix or Spotify or CBC, Global, Crave, all those you can do through the Google Chromecast.
Yeah, it's nice because it is so compact, and it's cool depending on the type of TV you have to be able to plug it in and then tell Google to turn your TV on. It pretty much turns a non-smart TV into a smart TV.
That's exactly it. Yeah, think about it like that, and yeah, it works great. I think we have a lot of requests for, like you said, Netflix. And so it's been a big seller recently. A lot of people wanting that, and also wanting this next device, which is the Harmony Hub.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, this is taking your entertainment experience to the next level.
That's right. So this is it's along the same lines, right? Allowing us to watch TV, but it brings in the cable system. So you can control a lot of cable systems using Harmony Hub and the Google Home devices. So yeah, and I think you can also integrate all your smart tech into it, right, Ian?
You can, to some extent. It does have a lot of functionality. I think the biggest thing for me is having it control multiple devices at the same time. So creating a routine that will turn on the TV, turn on your sound bar, or your stereo system, pretty much anything that has infrared, also Bluetooth and RF. And then it will, let's say, after it turns the TV on, make sure that it's set to the right input, like HDMI 2. And it's, yeah, it's very, very versatile in that sense. With some IR products, it's not perfect all the time, but I think that you can do a lot by voice, especially if you're connected to Shaw or TELUS, and you can say, like, change the channel to 422, something like that.
Right.
You can't navigate. So, for example, if you open up Guide, you can't say by voice, up, down, left, right, select, etc. But what you can do is, with the app integration, you can use your phone as a universal remote for every device, like your TV, your TELUS box, etc. And I think that's how I use it the most, is as that universal remote, so that my phone can do literally everything for my entertainment system.
Right, and once you have it on your phone or your tablet, you have access to every button, and I think more than what's on your remote. It seems to have extra all the time. So
at times, yeah, no, it's really cool. Like if I want to do something on my stereo, then I just flip over to the stereo remote and on my phone, and there you go. Now I can do all of it. And then somebody's phoning me, I want to mute the TV, I can flip over to the TV. It's really, really cool how much functionality there is.
I think once you get it set up, because setting it up is a little bit of work. But once you get it set up, you're right. It's a great product.
Yeah, no, right. It really adds to your full entertainment experience and more. Right? You can even create Bluetooth routines to operate your computer in some limited fashion. So it's very, very cool. But for entertainment, and this is a super cheesy transition, but one thing that I love even more is to be able to close the blinds in my TV room so that I don't have that glare that everybody hates shining down on everything. So
that was a fantastic transition.
Thank you, Wade.
So this is, we've been looking for quite a while for some sort of smart blind. And we didn't want to go into members' homes needing to replace the whole blind system. So basically what we found is a device called Soma Tilt. It doesn't have their name on it, but it's a Soma Tilt. And what it does is it connects to a tilt wand. So you remove the tilt wand, you connect this piece, and then using your phone, your tablet, Google Home, Amazon, you can now control your blinds using your voice or your device.
Yeah, it's nice. I have a couple of these set up, and it's great to be able to give it commands. Also, you can have it set to open 25% or 100%, depending on your mood at the time. Also, you can automate it so that in the morning it will open up a little bit, and then progressively through the day it can open more and more, and then at night have it shut completely, which is something that I don't even think about now. It just happens, which is wonderful.
And something you can also add to your Google routines, right? So in the morning, the lights come on, the blinds open, your radio station starts playing. It's a nice thing to add to the Google routines.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, moving along. Actually, one more thing. So this is the tilt, which takes care of the tilt function. They also have one which is I can't remember what it's called, but it's you throw a chain or a cord loop into it, and then you can control like patio door, the turning of those blinds, or opening and closing blinds, any blinds that have the chain loop or the cord loop. There's another version of that.
Yep.
All right, one of Ian's favorite.
This is I love it.
Spot.
This is Yeah, by far my favorite. I think it is just the cutest, most powerful thing that I've ever seen.
That's what we're going for. We're going for cute here at TIL. But SwitchBot, yeah, SwitchBot is a small robot, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
When you activate it, either through your device or through Google, again, there's a little arm that comes out. So I'm just going to trigger it with my phone. I got this set up here, and you can see when I trigger it, little arm comes down to push a button. And a lot of times what this is used for is, like Ian, you mentioned your house doesn't have a neutral wire
Correct.
behind your lighting. So replacing your light switches with the TP-Link switches, TP-Link light switches isn't an option. So this is a great option. You can put this on top, or it doesn't matter, on top or below your light switch, connect it to your light, and you're able to turn your light on and off, even if you don't have a neutral wire.
Yes. And there's some additional features where you can set it to, let's say, extend all the way and be held there for, I don't know, 5 seconds or so. So if you're trying to push a button that needs to be depressed, you can do that and quite easily. And you don't have to bolt anything on or screw it on. Like the adhesive is quite durable. And this thing packs a punch. Yeah.
It does. They're great. What other uses have you had for these, Ian?
Well, in my house, I think some light switches that I wasn't able to modify, so fluorescent tubes and such in the kitchen. Right. Also, the ceiling fan in the living room, I was able to connect it to that. I've seen people connect them to coffee makers. The back of a computer to push the power button or the reset button. Also, for me, my bed, like at the foot of the bed, I have buttons to set the head up and down and such, and I'm unable to push those, and so stick one of these little bad boys on there, and it's great. By voice I can say set the head up, and then it will push the button for 5 or 10 seconds whenever I choose.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to situate them different ways to be able to get all the buttons depending on your button arrangement.
Definitely. Yeah, it looks like a work of art.
All right, and just as a side, you do need a bridge, a little hub for this one to work with Google. So it'll work right away with your cell phone, but if you do want to connect it to Google, we do supply the hub as well.
Yes, yeah, and I don't know if we have one in the shop there to show off, but the SwitchBot company has really done a good job over the last couple of years of integrating with other manufacturers, other big names like Samsung with the SmartThings environment. So you can do cool things like have a motion sensor that will trigger the SwitchBot. So when I come into the house, then it can turn on the light above the chandelier in the entranceway, and that's something that without the SwitchBot I wasn't able to find a workaround. So,
right. And we do the SmartThings as well. Unfortunately, I don't have any in right now, but yeah, we typically do have those available as well. So.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We're going to move on to door locks.
Okay.
We've got the August lock here today. And again, for this version, you do need a hub, but I don't have the hub on me right now. The newer version doesn't need a hub. We don't have those yet. But the nice thing about these is that you can continue to use your old key, slap this on the inside of your door, the old key continues to work, and now you've got a smart lock. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do things. No, it's simple. And you know what? For a deadbolt lock, it should be simple. It lasts a long time. I think it uses like AA or AAA batteries, and it has some really cool features. Thank you. Where you can let's say give people permission to open it. So like myself, caregiver arrives at 6 a.m. There's no way that I want to be there to open the door for her. So
Okay.
nope. So I love it that I can say, okay, for this person during this time period, they have permission to open it, and you can keep changing those settings on the phone. Also, if you're somebody that forgets to lock the door on your way out, then you can have your phone set as a proximity device. Anytime that you leave the house and you have location turned on your phone, it'll automatically lock it. And then when you arrive home, it'll automatically unlock it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Far better than having to fumble around to find your keys.
Or you can always check it from work or wherever you are.
Yeah.
Just to see if you've forgotten to lock it and
Yeah.
lock it from there as well. So
The peace of mind. Yeah. Or if you if somebody phones and they want to stop in to drop off a package or something, then you can just unlock it and lock it remotely from pretty much anywhere in the world.
Right, right. Cool.
One other cool thing about it is the integration with like Google Voice. So you can say at nighttime, create a routine that will lock the door automatically. And then let's say in the morning time, you have a wake up routine, and then it will ask you for a password such as 1234. So you can unlock it and lock it by voice, but have that reassurance that that you're going to be safe. And I think that August has done a really good job of keeping security as their #1 focus.
And that was a concern of some of our members when we initially started setting these up, is can somebody just yell in my window, Google, open the door?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you need a password every time. So.
Yes.
All right. Keeping on with Google, let's back to the Google products. We have the Nest Hello, which is a smart doorbell. See it there?
Yeah, perfect.
Again, there's a lot in here. It's just a doorbell, but there's a lot in this little device. So once installed, you can see who's outside from your phone, from the Google Hub, the Nest Hub.
Yes.
Or if you have your Chromecast plugged in, you can also see it on your TV, right? Or you can look at it anytime. You can get your TV to show the outside camera, see what's going on outside your house. So it can be a security thing or just the doorbell and you being able to know who's outside.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have one of these just because I'm in the middle of moving, but I believe that it will also notify you of a specific person with face recognition. Is that correct?
that is well, if you pay for the subscription service.
Right. Okay.
So if you don't pay the subscription service, it'll just tell you somebody's at the door.
Okay.
Then you can go to your video and see who it is, or if you just have a Nest Mini with no video display, you can even have Google tell them, I'll be right there. So there's 3 or 4 commands you can have Google say to somebody outside the door. Just leave it there. I think nobody's home, or I'll be there in a minute, kind of thing. So yeah, just gives you some time to get to the door.
Definitely. No, and I think that that's important to pick an ecosystem that works for you. Like if it's Google, then having the Google Minis or the Nest Minis, Nest Hubs, and the Nest Hello, so that everything can work together smoothly.
Right.
I think back in the day, I used to try to find the cheapest or the newest product on the market, but I found that a lot of them just don't mesh well together. So
right. I mean, if you were if you're an Amazon person and for some reason you needed Amazon, and we set up the Amazon devices,
right,
we would probably go with the Ring doorbell versus the Nest Hello.
Of course, yeah, but so cool.
All right, now we're getting to this fun device. Looks much more interesting than all of the prepackaged stuff, but
it really does. That is by far the nerdiest piece of equipment to date.
All right, so all this is a relay that closes when it gets a Google command or a command from a cell phone. So it's just a relay that connects to the Wi-Fi. So a lot of times what we'll use this for is we might stick it in a door opener header, so somebody can use their voice or the cell phone to open the door. We've had another case where somebody needed to control their intercom for the front of their building and to press the number 6 on their phone. So we had an adapted phone, and we plugged in the 2 functions into the adapted phone, and now they can control their intercom and let people in the building. So there's a lot of different uses for this, but yeah.
Yeah, and that application right there is something that I wish I had a year ago, because I was living in a gated community where my caregivers coming in the morning would have to buzz in through the phone. And again, in bed, it's not something that I was able to do. So that's a really cool workaround. It's so many different uses for such a little device.
Yeah, and this what I kind of let people know is this kind of integrates the smart technology with what TIL has been doing for years. You know, all that switch controlled stuff.
Yeah.
This is kind of the go-between between the two technologies.
Yeah.
All right, moving on, we have the thermostats. So we have 2 thermostats that we typically provide people. And there's a reason we have 2 different ones. One is the MISA thermostat, MYSA. And MISA is a kind of a high voltage thermostat. So you can use it with your electric baseboard heaters. Whereas the EcoB3 is a low voltage thermostat. So you can use it with your low voltage heating systems. So those are the 2 we provide. Nice to be able to control the heat in your home.
Man, that is a lifesaver. Holy cow, I am cold all the time. So I love the ability to give it give a voice command and adjust the temperature throughout the day or the evening.
Right. Right. And a lot of our clients, I mean, they love this because, like you mentioned, you're cold, you're warm, you know, things change so quickly for you that, you know, having control of your heat and not having to ask somebody else to turn up and down the heater thermostat. I mean, the fan works nice in the plug, but only to cool off a little.
Yes.
This is
No,
nice.
but it's a game changer. Like I know that if I'm too cold, that I can't move my hands, and I'm literally stuck in that spot. So if I'm working on the computer and I get cold, I don't have the ability to drive away. So to be able to control that by voice, get my body temperature up, like increase my core temperature, and then have that independence again. Oh man, so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Okay. The last thing, I'm sure pretty much nobody has seen this device to date, except for Ian, is called the Chameleon. The Chameleon was born out of the Simon Cox Student Design Competition, which we hold every year. Unfortunately, this year it had to be canceled because of the COVID, but it's going to be bigger and better next year. And this one came out of last year's student design competition. Actually, that guy right there, Daniel, was one of the students that that made this, and we brought him on after. He's an amazing 3D print guy and a great technician. So, but they designed this. Him and 2 of his school friends designed this. And what it is somebody who doesn't have a strong voice or can't project their voice or is unable to speak and doesn't have a communication device, this will allow us to plug in one switch. So using one switch, you have access up to 36 different Google functions. So one of them might be, hey, Google, turn on the light. So you can program in 36 different functions and using one switch still have access to the full Google ecosystem.
Yeah, so for somebody that is able to push one button, and maybe somebody, let's say, with ALS, it would be great, where you're not having to speak to your voice assistant repeatedly.
Right.
It also, correct me if I'm wrong, but it has some visual feedback as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, so there is both audio and visual. So there is a ring of lights that comes on in the front. So you hit the switch once, it'll go a red ring, green ring, blue ring, and then you hit it again. And within those rings, there'll be 6 different blue LEDs or red
right.
LEDs. And so each one of those LEDs is a function. So yeah, there's visual, and it also speaks kind of a word or two that describes what that function is. So if the red ring has all your lighting on it, when the red ring comes up, it might say lighting. And then when you get into the red ring, it'll say kitchen light, bathroom light, bedroom light. You know, it'll just give you the different functions by an audio feedback before you start.
Yeah, which is awesome that you don't have to have this device visible, really. You can have it sitting on a shelf or beside the bed somewhere discreet, and then have a switch coming out of it, and then be able to control everything in that room or in that connected to that system.
Right, right. And it's nice, they really thought of everything. You can control the brightness, the speed, the volume, turn on and off the lights, turn on and off the sound. Yeah, they thought of everything. It was fantastic.
Nice.
All right, so I think that's all the devices we have, Ian.
Yeah, for today at least.
So what I'm going to do now is just going to show our website, just so people know how they can get in touch with us.
Perfect.
Let me just screen share our website. You see it there, Ian?
Yes, yeah, that's great.
So if you just go to technologyforliving.org, and this is kind of both programs. We have the Technology for Independent Living program, which we talked about today, and then the Respiratory Living program, which is more ventilators and bilevels and respiratory needs. So what you want to do is go down to TIL, Technology for Independent Living.
Oh, I don't think that's working anymore, at least not on my screen. Can you try to refresh it? There we go. That's working. Perfect. Yep, thank you.
Okay, so what I did is just went down the main screen until you get to the TIL. And once you open the TIL program website, there's a lot of information there. The upcoming Simon Cox Design Competition. We're turning 50 this year, so we're going to be opening a time capsule.
So cool.
I think about 10 years ago. That'll be in September. You can guess what's in the time capsule. And I think I might click on that because I have no idea what I put in there. And then you can apply for our services, download the form there. Automatic door openers. We do supply funding for some automatic door openers. So if you do need an automatic door opener, then click on this link and apply to our program. And then just below is all the different devices. So everything a lot of things you saw here today, 1 or 2 things might be missing because we have new technology coming all the time, but a lot of what you saw today is on here. So a lot of the stuff that we currently provide, some of the switches we use, and then there's some of the old technology. A lot of our members will know they gave us. So that's it. I think, yeah, if there aren't any questions, I think we can move along.
Can one more thing before you leave this page, for the application program, the form rather, who is eligible?
Eligibility is fairly open. Basically, you're a resident of BC, you're over 18, and you have a physical disability that stops you doing something within your home. So you're not living as independently as you could be. So it could be ALS, it could be arthritis, a severe case of arthritis. It could be it could be anything, really.
And the biggest question everybody asks me is how much is it going to cost me for some of the devices that you showed off today, that you presented?
It will cost Ian a lot, but no, the rest of our members, nothing. No. So basically what TIL is, we're a nonprofit and we want to get this equipment out there helping people. So there is no cost to TIL members. We supply the equipment. we supply the technicians to come out and set it all up. If you ever have trouble with it, we can always come back and take a look at it. We try and do some stuff virtually, especially because there's a few of us technicians here, and you know, we cover all of BC, so we do work with OTs and community workers to troubleshoot stuff. But yeah, we'll visit, we'll set up, we'll service it, we'll keep it going as long as you need it. And if you decide that something's not working or you need something more, we're always here to help out.
Great.
All right.
Well, if anybody has any questions, then please feel free to type them in the chat window. And if not, you can always send an email to what is it?
TIL
Thank
at
you.
technologyforliving.org. Or just go to our webpage again at technologyforliving.org, and all our contact information is there. All right, so it looks like we don't have any questions from any participants, so I think we're done.
Great. Well, this is exciting. I'm always so happy to show off all the amazing work that you guys do in the office, and what we're able to provide. So yeah, anybody with any questions thereafter, send a message to Wayne. His personal number will pop up on the screen. And have a great day.
All right, and thanks once again to the Disability Foundation for giving us this opportunity to spread the word of smart technology and independent living and our program. It's been great.
Definitely.
I think there's actually one late question here from Roger.
Okay.
Hello, Roger, can you hear us?
Roger, I think your microphone might be muted. There we go.
Just wondering if the Harmony Hub can replace the Pilot One.
The Pilot One, yeah, I would say for the most part. We don't use a lot of Pilot Ones anymore. We never really did use a lot of them, just because it didn't pick up a lot of voices consistently. And I think Google and Harmony Hub together would be a good alternative. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of work to get it programmed at the beginning, but I think after it's programmed, like we said, it probably work well.
It'll do better.
So would it like scroll through channels and be allowed to set up his PVR, stuff like that?
Ian, have you used it enough to try it with the PVR?
Yeah, I'd say it has limited functionality. I do find that some of the different macros that you create will work, but I don't think that the Harmony Hub is the all-around solution for that problem, but it can definitely assist in certain components of that.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about the Harmony is that you can go directly to channels. You can pick any channel you want and go directly there, which is nice and quick. But yeah, Ian's right. You won't have access to the guide yet. I think they're working on it though, aren't they, Ian?
Okay.
They are, yes, and if that another option that might be the Amazon Fire TV Cube, because they're, especially in the US, they've fully integrated with most of the services there. In Canada, they're still working on implementing a rollout for TELUS and Shaw, but I think in the near future we will see that.
Yeah.
And then you'll have full functionality by voice, navigating through all of the menus.
Yeah, if you do use a lot of menus and guides, then maybe not at this time. But if you do know the channels you want, then it's a quick way to get there with Google and Harmony. Very consistent.
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yeah, because Jerry used to use the Gawa, but now his hands don't work at all. So We got the
Right.
Pilot 1 from you, but like you said, it's not very friendly.
It's not that consistent. Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
it's better than nothing, for
Right.
sure.
Of course. And maybe something to look at would be different types of switch access. So instead of having to press a button with a hand, for example, then there might be another type of switch that would work better.
With the
Right,
gateway,
yeah.
you mean?
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah, so we do have a whole variety of switches here, whether it's sip and puff
Yeah.
switches or
See, like right now, like you set Jerry up with the bar with his controller for his chair. He uses his chin
right,
to drive his chair.
right.
Okay.
That's about all that moves,
They
right?
didn't set us up with that.
No, we didn't do the wheelchair control.
No, you're right. That was through Medical. Yeah.
Yeah. But
You did send
hopefully
the
soon.
bell that he can use his cheek with.
Right, right. No, hopefully soon. I guess if you're using the guide and stuff, then not yet, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been
it's coming.
monitoring, checking TELUS, but they're not there yet.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think TELUS and Shaw are probably racing to get there, but not
Yes.
quite.
Okay.
Which is good to have that friendly competition, because I would like to see.
Exactly, yeah.
I'd really like to see one of them fully integrate, because I know that they're in the preliminary phases, and they have done a lot with their certain apps and Google integration, but all in all, there's a bit more work. So if there's anybody here from TELUS or Shaw that would like some feedback, then please send us a message, and I'll tell you what's missing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Good. Thanks.
All right, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
So it looks like we have another couple questions. Glenn asked on Facebook, anything in Ontario? And I really don't know the Ontario market. You know anything about it, Ian?
I don't know much about Ontario, honestly. I think that if there was a specific device that you were looking at, they are fairly low cost. So to do a setup of your own, you might only be looking at a couple $100 for a very basic.
Right.
But anything more than that, it can get pricey. For funding, no, unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with Ontario, but if you did send us a message, then we might be able to refer you to an organization in that area.
Yeah. Okay.
Happy to help.
Linda asked, can this technology be used with Alexa? And yeah, I mean, we decided early on to go with the Google ecosystem, but a lot of it can be used with Alexa as well. So all our light bulbs, the blind controls, the switch bots, the door locks, most of it can be used with Alexa. You're going to have problem with some of the Google stuff, like the Chromecast. Chromecast won't work with Alexa, and I don't think the doorbell either, will it, Ian?
I don't think so, but you have options. Like you could use the Fire Stick or the Ring doorbell. So if you are using the Alexa ecosystem, then you do have options, and that's something that we can discuss.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, they'll both be able to do similar things. It's just using different products to get there. I think Lori says, where do I find the smart technology? So if you're in BC and you're possibly a TIL client, then email us. We'd be happy to help. If not, then you may have another provincial organization that can help. But if you do want to purchase your own, anywhere like Best Buy or Amazon are your two go-to places.
Definitely.
There are some, I guess SwitchBot and Soma basically sell through their own websites.
Correct.
Yeah, but otherwise most of it is available on Best Buy or Amazon.
Oh, you're in Vancouver. Oh, perfect. Well, then contact us.
Yeah. I think Lori might be a client of ours. So yeah, give us a call. All right, I think that's all the questions I see. So yeah, if anybody has any further questions, send them along here, or I think we're going to wrap up. Go to our website, get a hold of us. We'd be happy to help.
Excellent.
All right.
Okay. Bye, Wayne.
All right. Take care, Ian.
Oh, hold on. One last question. That was close.
Go ahead, Ian.
I'm just reading it. Glenn says, funding not necessary, but expertise and setup. Neil Squire here. Well, it depends. If you are a TIL member, then we can most definitely help you in the right direction, and also with a lot of the setup. So smart plugs, pretty much anything that doesn't involve wiring in the home, then we can definitely help you with.
Yeah, we've gone to clients who have already purchased their own stuff, and we've just helped them set up. I know I went to one client in the past, and we've done a lot of this stuff, which is why it's good to kind of get us involved. If you're thinking about smart tech, what'll work with what, just shoot us your questions. We'd be happy to help. But yeah, we've gone into places where people have bought their own, and we're happy to help them set it up. But it's not Neil Squire. I don't know if Neil Squire is here, but no, this is not Neil Squire. Yeah,
they have some very wonderful services, but a little bit different than us. We focus, and I'd say not to gloat, but I think that we are the experts in smart home automation, and that's definitely my focal point. I know that Wayne does a lot more adaptation within the home, and I'm focused on the off-the-shelf devices. So if either of us can help with that, definitely send an email to the TIL at technologyforliving.org, and it will be passed on to one of us. Oh, one more from Glenn. Sorry, in Ontario. I see what you're saying. Okay, Neil Squire in Ontario. You should definitely reach out to them and see if they know of organizations or of assistants in that province that would help out with smart home tech. Sure.
Yeah, I still don't think Neil Squire does get involved with smart home tech in the home, even in Ontario, but yeah, they might know. They might know. They're a national program, so they might know.
Yeah. Great. Well, I think that's it, Wayne.
All right,
thank
Ian.
you again, and thank you, everyone. And yeah, have a great day.